What is it like being a Jamaican in Vietnam? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, the founder of Jamaicans.com. And today in Jamaicans to the World, I talk to Veniese Wilkinson, a Jamaican living in Vietnam. Hi, Veniese, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's a beautiful day in Ho Chi Minh City, to be specific. Beautiful day.
Good. All right. I'm excited to talk to you. I mean, hey, Vietnam, wow. I just didn't imagine I'd get a Jamaican in Vietnam, but hey, I'm excited.
We're everywhere. We are
Yes,
everywhere.
I am learning that. I am. So jump into the first question. Which part of Jamaica you come from?
So I was born like everyone. I was born in Kingston because that's a joke. They say that everyone says that they're from Kingston, more specifically Waterford.
Okay, so you're
Yes.
from Portmore.
Yes.
I'm from Portmore.
There we go. This
Yes.
is our destiny. Destiny.
Oh, yeah, I lived in Edgewater and then I lived in Independence
Oh,
City.
yeah.
So,
I mean, I know other people when they go to Jamaica, they become obsessed with Ochi and the grill. I love Kingston. I I like, take me to town. I love Kingston.
so my next question is this one. Did you go to high school in Jamaica? And if so, which high school are you
No, I didn't go to
representing?
high school in Jamaica. So a lot of people will say that maybe I'm a Jamaican. I didn't go to high school in Jamaica. I did all of my schooling in America.
All right.
I'll
So,
just be honest
all
about
right. So
that.
let me ask you this then, because sometimes the parents try to influence the kids and say, if you're going to go
Try.
to a high school, which them going to say, okay, we want to go to this high school, right? Or your
Yes.
cousins may say, if you go in high school, you may come to the high school I went to. So which was a big influence? Which high school? Or you don't remember which one? Tell me the uniform if you don't remember the color.
Oh, you mean in Jamaica?
Yes, yeah.
I don't, it's not that I remember the color of the uniform. I'll say, could we say purple? Purple and white.
Purple and white. I'm trying to remember which school. All right,
I
users.
don't remember the school because I'm old,
Because
but
it, the only school I know with the purple and white, and there may be a girls' school. It was KC, which was a boys' school.
yeah, that's where I have some cousins who went there, but I feel, was there, unless I planted the memory in my head.
All right, no
Um,
worries. I'm sure users are going to comment and say this girls' school or this school used to wear purple.
well, the thing that I remember is because my mother in the summer, her ritual was to buy the cloth, the material to send down to Jamaica to make school uniform for my cousins. So I was thinking more about which school uniform, and Jamaican parents love to compare. So I definitely remember that. It's just my bad memory,
All right,
just a bad memory, yes.
no problem. So, next question, Vietnam. How does a Jamaican end up in Vietnam? Well, specifically, how did you tell us a story of how you got
Okay.
to Vietnam?
So I was living and working in Korea for 10 years, and every kind of job that you can imagine in the English second language industry. And one of the companies that I was working for in Korea, they expanded into Vietnam. And when they were building their team in Ho Chi Minh City, the management team, I was brought in as a manager to kind of help with the transition.
Okay. No, that must have been quite a change from a
Yes,
Korea
yes,
where you have all the amenities
yes.
to Vietnam, which is still building up back and kind of getting back the infrastructure and so on. It was probably was quite a change.
It's interesting. It's quite a change from Korea, but I think being Jamaican, it's much easier for me to transition to Vietnam, because Vietnam actually has more of the food that's similar, more of the climate and food that's similar, and traffic that's similar to Jamaica.
You know, while when you mentioned Ho Chi Minh or Ho Chi Minh, right? Did I
Ho
say it
Chi
right?
Minh City,
Okay,
Saigon. We also call it
Saigon.
Saigon.
Okay. My wife had visited for business there, and she told me the two things she said to me. That I remember. She says all the fruits them that we get in
All the
Jamaica
fruit.
are there. That's what she
Yes,
said. And then she said the traffic kind of reminds her a little
yes.
bit of Jamaican traffic. However, they take it to the extreme.
To the
Bike person.
extreme.
The bike
Yes,
person has 4 people or 5 people on the bike
yes.
sometimes.
Yeah, whole 3 generations of a family are on the bike. Yes, 3 generations. You have the grandparents, the parents, and the kid all on one bicycle, and not a big bike. Yeah, yeah. Extreme.
So tell us a little bit about the people here. What are the people like? Are they, some people warm up to you right away. What are the people like in Vietnam?
This is what I will say. Vietnam very much is a story of regions. So Southern Vietnam, I think they're more used to foreigners. And so they really warm up to people. They are very much outward looking. Where you have in the north in Hanoi, they're a bit more closed, but it's not just that they're closed to Jamaicans or Black people. They're even closed to Southern Vietnamese people. But Vietnamese people, especially in Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon, yes, they're very warm to everyone. Greet people with a smile. I think the sunshine helps. It helps a lot of times.
So you mentioned the different regions are a little different. And as a black person being there, what's that experience like? Because and again, I don't want to assume, but we had the Vietnam War, obviously,
Yeah.
which is a part of the history there. You had black soldiers there, and so I don't think they have not encountered black people in Vietnam. I'm again, I don't want to assume, but
Right, right.
because that was the 70s, I think, when the war ended and so forth. So what's that experience been like there?
This is what I will say. The experience that I think in I feel like a lot of Vietnamese people are just fascinated and they're thankful that anyone would come to Vietnam. But then you have a group of people who want to believe some stories about Black people being backwards or dangerous because they have access to the internet, the media, and they know the propaganda. They're getting all the same propaganda that's being spread throughout the world. But I will say Vietnam is a very dynamic country. They can, it, especially younger people, very easy to embrace what's new and new people, and they just want to talk. So there are times where I see Vietnamese people walking around with dreadlocks or, with locks all the way down their back. They're in, like people will have a reggae band, they're wearing the big Rasta hat. They embrace it. And there's a company here that makes Jamaican food. I believe the name is they're trying to do a play on Savannah Lamar. So it's
Okay,
kind of like Savannah
something.
La Food, something like that. So no, and that's Vietnamese people making the Jamaican food.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. So they have really, in that sense, I always say to everyone, everywhere I've been in the world, Bob Marley and reggae music has been the best ambassador for Jamaican people. And then with Usain Bolt, everyone loves the winner, but Bob Marley, everywhere I go in the world.
I
everywhere.
I'll never forget reading this. And I was looking for the quote the other day. I don't remember where I say it. Somebody from another country was saying, if we had a Bob Marley in our country, they said that the
Come on.
airport would have a statue of Bob Marley
Yes.
that is so big, the aeroplanes would land between his legs.
That's what I like to hear. It's true. I mean, everywhere. Yes. I've gotten free things because of Bob Marley.
You've gotten three things because of Bob
Free
Marley.
things. Free things.
Free things. Okay.
Yes.
You got to tell me now. What did you get free?
No, because the thing is, people will. I was in Indonesia on an island that is so remote that it doesn't even really show up on Google Maps. But people, they love Bob Marley. So they want to buy me drinks, they want to buy me meals, they want to give me gifts. All right.
Wow.
Now, I'm going to say something. In Ghana, one of the things they wanted to give me, they wanted to give me something to make me feel better. Because people also want to give that to Jamaicans.
I see. So I'm going to switch up back to Vietnam and when folks learn that you are Jamaican, give me a reaction that you remember when in Vietnam and you say, oh, I'm Jamaican, and what the response, one of them that you'll never forget.
We love Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt, good, very fast man. We like him. Like, that is really one of the big things that I've noticed when that happens.
All right.
Yeah, everybody loves him. Everyone loves him.
Good.
And silence him.
So I'm going to move on. And I'm going to move on to food, because we touched a little bit on the food. And, I hear the food is good. Let me see if I've had Vietnamese food before.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's good. So, but here's the thing: I'm having Vietnamese food not in Vietnam. So let me also state that.
Yes, I'm glad that you said that,
because that is key to some of this. I remember having Chinese food here and Chinese food in China. Oh, Chinese food in China is, really good. So Vietnamese food, if there is something you're going to say, Xavier, when you come here, you have to try this. Or any of anybody who's watching it, say, listen, if you come here, you have to try this. Talk to me. What would you recommend? And if you want to give 2, that's fine. 2 or a couple years, that's fine.
This is what I will say. If you like pepper, then I say have their spicy hot pot with the seafood, because the pepper, I feel like they bring the pepper that they use brings out the taste in the seafood. But some people, it's too spicy for them. If you're not going to have that, then I really think that they have like a pork and rice kind of thing, which is considered mostly to be a snack food, but it's really good. Like, the flavor and the way they flame broil it is very good. And a lot of people, again, another snack food, people love the spring rolls, because they have spring rolls with lump crab meat. It tastes so good. But one of my friends, she is convinced that a lot of their broth and soup tastes like manishwata. So she's convinced of that. I'm not convinced of it. But they also it's a very big goat culture.
Okay.
So if you like goat, it's here. And they have a curry goat. But Jamaican curry is very special. None
very
like
different.
It in the world.
Very different.
But the curry goat here is good. The goat is actually tender, which is nice because I think they might pressure cook it like us. Um, so those would be the main things. And then for me, one of the things, I mean, I love soursop. I
Okay.
love soursop. And they have a lot of soursop drinks that
I
I think any Jamaican could enjoy.
good. I have seen a few videos on street food, and I hear street food there is big. It's again I I'm
Very
just
big.
watching, but I hear street food is like, I remember watching one show where there's this, I don't remember what this lady was cooking, but there was just a long line
Yes.
just to get, because it was a type of soup, I think it was, and she was the most popular person. And
Yes.
but they just said street food is big there.
It's very big. I think for street food, I prefer the central region, like even the farm area, because they use, like I was in a place called Pleiku, and they steam the rice and put it inside the bamboo. And that sticky rice inside the bamboo is delicious. Or when you get the rice and the banana leaf that's steamed, because it adds a certain flavor to it. Like it just gives it an extra flavor. In Saigon and Hanoi, but Saigon in particular, there's just a lot of street food because there's a lot of people, and it's very easy. I mean, when you say you've never seen street food like in Vietnam, in order to be a street food vendor, all you need is matches. They can cook anything, anywhere, at any time. You see people sometimes they just have one concrete brick, like in Jamaica when they're building house and they have the cement kind of bricks. They'll
Yes.
just use that, put a grill over it, start a fire. That's it. I mean, anyone can be a street food vendor in Vietnam. Anyone.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I remember just seeing this film and I was just like, this is street food, is the thing. It's just, a big thing there. And I figure part of it is, again, it's a country that's emerging,
Yes,
and so with that, lots of entrepreneurs and lots of
absolutely.
stuff going on.
Everybody's hustling. Everybody is hustling. That's what reminds me of Jamaica. Like when you hear people saying Wrigley's, nuts, 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 peanuts, nuts, nuts. It's the Jamaica street hustle vibe. People are going to work very hard.
Wow.
Work very hard.
Um, how would you say, because again, we know we had the war, there was a war there, then, they're rebuilding, and then there was, so there's different things going
Different
on.
thing. Yeah.
And with all of that, I mean, I'm sure people are resilient and so on. How would you say the economy is doing pre pre-pandemic? Okay. And what's the cost of living like? It's things, sometimes we tend to say, okay, the cost of living is rising, and that probably means the economy may sometimes be rising at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know. So what are things like?
Pre-pandemic, it was one of pre-pandemic, I think the economy was on a fast upward trajectory because you would just see a new business opening everywhere, and not like some full business. I mean, a business selling a luxury item or providing a luxury service, selling fine wine, selling um, beautiful, expensive pens, jewelry. And so, as far as the cost of living, you can live comfortably. I think you can live comfortably every month for maybe about 1,200 USD. And that would
Mm.
be having a nice apartment in a nice area, even if you want a pool, or a place with a gym. And you can, I'm trying to think, the cost of food, it depends on the food that you want. If you want foreign, because there's some people who will only shop in stores that are marketed to foreigners. And those people, they're going to spend money needlessly on vegetables and fruit that they should just buy from the market, just, street market people. But yeah, even if you include going out and ordering in food, you could 1,200, you could do it 1,500. You're living a great life. 2,000 and above, you're going out every night. You can treat people to this and that, and
You're a big baller. You're a big baller at
oh my
2,000 a
gosh,
month.
you you're making the money. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So yeah, anytime you have that, you
Right.
can, yeah.
So let me ask you this. I've seen a couple videos of Americans moving to Vietnam, and in some cases I know there is this tourism factor of it. I want to go back to where my father was fighting a war.
Yes.
For some, it's just coming back. They want to come back, and so on and so forth. How was that? And again, I'm getting deep into some stuff here, and I'm not I'm
No,
not
come,
asking
come,
you to be
come.
I'm not asking to be the expert, but
No.
how has that changed how the economy there, people there, there, I always sense or always think there might have been some tension, and now that more Americans are visiting, has that tension kind of, how is that dynamic then? I guess is where I'm going.
This is what I will say, because one day I was on the beach and I see that this woman is trying to sell trinkets. And so she said to me, "Where are you from?" And I said, I just always say America to make it easier. Sometimes I lie and say Canada. Other times I say Jamaica, but for the purpose of the conversation, I said America. And she said, "We really love your country. You help us a lot." So at first I said, "Is this woman being sarcastic?" And then I realized, and I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, when we have floods here, America always donates and helps us to rebuild." And when I was in the North, I think I was on a tour or something, and someone made the point. They said the conflict with America was just maybe 10 years. The conflict with the French was 100 years, 100 plus years. And the conflict with the Chinese was 1,000 years. So
Mm,
for a lot of Vietnamese, like a lot of times are prisoners of the moment because we're looking at ourselves. But
right.
they put it in when you have a history that is much longer, because the way they said it to me, they said the Chinese tried to dominate us,
Mm,
right? The French, they were trying to do something else because they colonized Vietnam. But he said, America, it was a conflict.
okay.
America did not try to colonize. They weren't necessarily trying to occupy, take over. It was a conflict. But when they said it, it just gave me perspective. Like, okay, so there isn't I very rarely do I hear any anti-American.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Very interesting. It's good
Very
being
interesting.
on the
Wasn't
ground.
expecting it, right?
Yeah, yeah, being
Yeah,
on the ground, it's a totally different
totally
perspective.
different thing. Yeah, totally
So
different.
so I'm gonna dive into an area here, being the
Yes.
nosy person I am. Yeah. You are, I believe, a single woman. You
Yes.
have been traveling,
Yes.
and
I'm
you know,
available.
And so how is the dating scene there in Vietnam? And again, I know you came from Korea and so on, but how has that been? And have there been some pickup lines you've been hearing? And but
It's weird because in Vietnam, there isn't, I I would say if you go on Facebook and you talk to any woman about any non-Vietnamese woman about dating in Vietnam, the common complaint is just going to be there aren't a lot of great options as far as in the dating pool. So I think most women who come to, even though I was seeing someone for a while um, in Vietnam and I've gone on dates, but I think most non-Vietnamese women that live in Vietnam, we've just kind of given up. Like if we get excited, like if someone sees, they're like, "Did you see him? Did you see him?" It's like you almost have to be like Dracula, as my aunt would say, and just dig your claws in. But at this point, I think most foreign women just do not plan on dating in Vietnam.
okay, is it cultural in terms of and again, I don't want to stereotype, but is it just the difference in culture that it makes it a challenge to an extent, or is it, as you said, to an extent available? The women, like in some places, women outnumber men.
Yeah, so if you're talking, I'd say, sorry to always compare Vietnam and Korea. The thing about a lot of Korean men, even, is Korean men a lot of time are taller, bigger. They feel more comfortable speaking in English and being around foreigners. And so when you're in Korea, there's also a lot of military. The American military is scattered throughout the country. So you just have a bit more options when you think about it. Whereas in Vietnam, I think a lot of the local men would be intimidated by some of the foreign women. And
Okay.
then a lot of the foreign men, I think, prefer, which I can understand, to date Vietnamese women.
Okay.
And
All
so
right.
you don't, I would say a lot of, unless you're someone who is okay with being casual, um, the options that you have with a lot of the non-Vietnamese men, in particular, I would say more Western men,
Right.
from the Americas and Europe and maybe Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, it can be very hit or miss because a lot of times they get this ego like we are the golden
I see. I
bird of
see.
pride.
I see. The
And
golden boy.
yeah, and the thing is, that's not my that's not my style.
All right.
Like my
All right.
personality is not that. So I'm
All
just
right.
like, oh no. Mm-mm.
All
I
right.
haven't. It's weird because I'm one of the only people I know who has actually had a long-term relationship in Vietnam, right?
Mm,
I'm no longer in that relationship again. Like I'm saying
right.
to the camera, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. But it still isn't. And then with Black women, I think it also, that's another layer.
Right.
And
Right.
also with me mainly having management positions, that's another layer. So all these different layers will just knock you out of
I
the
saw you're
pool.
saying.
Not that people don't necessarily approach, but you can't, yeah, every fish that jumps into the net, you can't keep. You
I like I like that one. Every
okay.
fish that jumps into the net you can't keep.
No, 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 no,
Love it, love it. So I want to switch up the topic on you a little bit now.
Okay.
And music. What are you hearing in terms of music? Again, I know, well, radio might still be popular. Again, I don't know, but are you hearing, reggae sometimes? Are you hearing, pop? K-pop is it the K-pop has taken over there? Also, what are you hearing there?
You're going to hear a lot of K-pop. You will hear some. I don't know if you don't necessarily hear reggae, you hear dance hall. But they have um, they have Vietnamese R&B, Vietnamese reggae, Vietnamese.
Vietnamese R&B.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have Vietnamese reggae, Vietnamese dance hall. Um, oh yeah, they bring it all together. And
Okay.
last year or over the past 2 years, there's been a lot of Vietnamese trap music. They love that rap trap music style, but I hear Vietnamese dance hall. I mean, the thing about dance hall is the beat, the drums are infectious, right?
Right.
So for a lot of people, when they want to make their voice sing, they're going to choose a dance hall beat. So you get everything. And there are times where I have to listen closely and then I realize, oh, this person is singing in Vietnamese. Because I'll think to myself, like, what Jamaican artist could this be? Right? And then I realize, like, oh, or even with the trap music, I'm like, who is this? Who could this be? Is this a new, rap artist? And then I realize, oh my gosh, they're speaking in Vietnamese. Yeah.
Which leads me to my next question. Vietnamese. Have have you learned the language? Have you, I know I think you talked about teaching and you talked
Yeah.
about whatever, but have you learned any other language, or how's that been for you?
Look at this guy trying to embarrass me.
I'm
That's
not
often. No,
embarrassing
no, no,
you.
no. As far as the language, when I first got to Vietnam, I was actually taking Vietnamese lessons because one of the things that when I first got to Korea, I trained with a girl and I went to go visit her in the town she was living in. And she said to me, as much shopping as you do, you don't know how to shop in Korean. And from that day, I made myself learn certain things in Korean. And so when I got to Vietnam, I said, I need to learn how to count up to 100. Um, what else? I said, I need to learn how to order things, food, cafe. Because also, a lot of times you want to learn the language so you know what to avoid, what to say.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was very strategic with my Vietnamese language lessons. I said, I need to know foods, I need to know coffee talk, I need to know how to count, and I want to be able to give directions. So
Okay.
that is, but I'm horrible when it comes to languages.
All right.
Just
Well,
so
we're going to
everyone
get back to language in a little bit. If
knows.
you're
Okay.
watching any of these videos, you know we're going to get back to language towards the
Yeah.
end. So,
Yeah. But that's why I'm putting in the disclaimer right now. The disclaimer.
in terms of local custom, is there a local custom that you've come upon that you would say, hey, this is very interesting? Maybe it could be even simple, something, I've heard people say, the way you introduce someone to someone else, or the way I see husbands do things for their wives, or wives do things for their husband, or for the is there, or maybe even the beginning of the school term, this is a custom, and I'm not saying it's weird, it's just different, maybe
Yeah.
interesting. Have you come upon any of those customs that you found interesting in Vietnam?
Trying to think.
And maybe there's none. Maybe
No, I'm sure
never.
there is. No, no. And so a lot of times the thing that stands out to me in Vietnam, even though a lot of Vietnamese people say they don't see it, is how active the fathers are in the kids' life. Like they will drop the kids off at school, pick them up. That is definitely stood out. And then I think the way the kids interact and the way teachers are seen, a very interesting custom. Teachers are very revered in Vietnam. Like the kids always want you on a whole other level, they want you to be involved in their life. But another thing that I don't know if this is so much a unique custom, but everyone just calls each other brother and sister. Like they'll say chi or aunt for like older sister, older brother, M for younger person. And there's something kind of affectionate about it when someone is calling you sister, the way in which they do it so much. Even when they write formal emails in the office, it will say, brothers and sisters, please be informed of something like that.
Oh wow. Oh
Which
wow.
I love. There's something warm about it.
It's like unity. It's like,
Yeah,
you
there's a
know,
unity. And the fact that everyone becomes she or an, regardless of race, regardless of whatever. And so in Vietnam, people always want to know your age. That is very important because they want to know how to address you.
okay.
Yeah.
So, in terms of the place itself, let me not focus on a place. If there is something that you would say, if you visit Vietnam, it could be an event. You have to experience this event. It could be, maybe the way they celebrate the new year, maybe it's a religious event, maybe it's, a secular, could be any type of
Yeah.
event,
Yeah.
or it could be a place. You could say, this place has such a unique beach, a unique sunset, a unique color on the mountain. What
Yes.
would that be if you could say, if you're visiting, go see this or come at this time of the year so you could experience this? And I know I limit it to one a lot of times, and people have been saying, don't limit it to one.
No,
People,
that's perfect.
if they want to do two, let them, so
No, 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 no,
I'll let
no,
you
no.
go. I'll let you
I'm
go.
going to give you one. You want to go to Hoi An. So you fly into Da Nang. I'd say stay a day in Da Nang, check it out, but immediately go to Hoi An. Hoi An really is the cultural capital of Vietnam. That's where you see the ancient architecture, that entire area. It is beautiful. It is, you are transferred back in time to a certain kind of elegance. Everything in Hoi An, all the crafts that you're going to see in Hoi An, the streets that you're going to walk down, everyone I know. And Hoi An is also where people go to get clothes made. Hoi An is one of those places that appeals to all your senses, all of the colors. So the color that I'm wearing right now, even though I'm wearing it to represent Jamaica, you see it all over Hoi An. Everyone, I think if you were to poll people about where, because even Vietnamese, that is their preferred place to go. But every foreigner that I know, Hoi An was the first time when they saw something that just didn't feel like big city urban or, oh, beautiful countryside, because that's also nice to see the countryside. But Hoi An,
Is a place to be.
it is the place to be.
So I'm gonna get personal now. What do you enjoy doing in Vietnam? What's the thing that you really say, what, this is my thing. I enjoy doing this here.
I'm gonna reinforce stereotypes. Running.
Okay.
running, running, running. So I've done several half marathons in Vietnam. It is the thing that I hate the most about the pandemic is that the races have been canceled and we can't get out and run as much. But if there was one thing that I really like doing that just clears my mind in Vietnam, it's running. Of course, I love hanging out with my friends, but running is because it's one of those activities that when people see each other in the morning going by, hi, 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 hi. Yeah. No, no, I love it. That is, I would say that's the main activity that I do, like season in, season out. And then just walking. I
Okay.
walk everywhere. Everyone calls me like Miss Walkie. I can walk everywhere, everywhere. One girl said, "You really," one of my friends who is Jamaican, who used to live here, she's like, "You're really Jamaican. You can walk everywhere. Walk everywhere." Yes.
And then you run into
Yeah, I mean, to run, the first thing, because right now we're on a lockdown, so we cannot go outside.
right, right.
The first day we could go outside,
You're
as
running.
soon as daylight, I'm running. I am running. I don't care if it's painful, I'm running.
So, yeah, in terms of weather wise, because when you talked about the running, I was gonna ask you, season, they have monsoons, right? Or they are
Yeah,
you
this is that
during?
season right now.
Okay, so you're in the monsoon season,
Yes.
and there's a lot of, what is it, rain, a lot of rain, a lot of,
Flooding, everything. Yes.
I see.
Wind. Sometimes you come back outside and you're like, what? Everything. There's one day in my apartment building, it sounded like a gang was fighting in the lobby because the wind just came in and was moving everything around in the lobby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so I'm winding down, and listen, I appreciate all the time you spent here. I mean, some
I'm
great, great
loving this.
information. Oh, you know what I wanted to ask also? You mentioned Ghana, you
Yes.
mentioned Korea, you mentioned a little place
In
where you were
Indonesia.
into free stuff. We're in Indonesia. So
Yes.
you sound well traveled. So which country have I missed that you've either lived in for a little bit or visited? Which one
You,
you lived in? You have lived in, I should say, because
no,
maybe if
I've
I say
only
you
lived
visited,
in
you
Ghana
probably might
and
go to 50,
Korea.
50 or 60.
Yeah, exactly. Because if I start going to the places that I've visited, but I want to give a shout out the two places that I think everyone should visit,
Okay.
or three places that you should visit before you go leave this earth. Croatia, beautiful, beautiful people, beautiful food, just drinks, dancing, nightlife. Croatia and Montenegro, very easy to get to from Croatia, Bosnia, that whole Balkan area, and Greece. When
Okay.
the same feeling I had when I went to Ghana is the same feeling I had in Greece. I
Okay.
got off the plane, got down to downtown Athens, and I said, I feel at home without anything happening. This is not, I hadn't spoken to anyone other than the people in the airport. And then I'd say the last place, because they remind me so much of Jamaica, Colombia.
Colombia. Okay.
I feel like Colombia, Cartagena, every time I said to them, "Oh, I haven't been to South America before." They said, "This isn't South America." I was like, "What do you mean?" They said, "This is the Caribbean." They said, they told me, I was there with my sister, Pita Gay, shout out to her, all my sisters, Marquia, Raquel, Rochelle, Shelly Ann, all of them. The they were saying to me, they said, we have a very special relationship with Jamaica. They said, many years ago, you took one of our islands. I said, is that a special relationship? Somebody takes something from you. They're like, yes, we're very close to Jamaica.
It,
Special relationship. You took one of our islands from us. I said, okay.
I know which one they're
I guess it
talking.
can be special. Yeah.
I know which one they're talking. Saint oh, Saint Andres, I think is the name. Something to that.
It
Where they
was new to me.
where and folks, hopefully I'm gonna get someone from there at some point. So
Hopefully, yes.
look out for it where they speak patois. It sounds like they're just like us.
Right?
And for those of you who are lost, earlier Venice and I were talking about Ghana. And so when she mentioned the home, we were talking before we started
Oh,
recording
sorry.
a
Yeah.
little bit about Ghana. But bucket list, you said Croatia, Montenegro,
Montenegro, Bosnia,
Montenegro,
the whole
Bosnia,
Balkan area,
and
and
Colombia.
Colombia. So I
All
think
right,
everyone should go to those three places and Greece.
and
Like
Greece.
I love those places. But where I want to go next, I want to go because as you mentioned, so I'd like to see more of West Africa,
Mm.
go to Southern Africa and visit more of South America and the Caribbean, all the other Caribbean islands.
I'm telling you, we are travelers. We are not
Yes,
we're ready to go. Just tell us where,
anytime,
anytime, any place.
anytime. Yes.
So second to last question. Scenario. You land in Jamaica, you get off
Hmm.
the plane.
Yes.
What's that first thing you are going to do? Whether it be the food, whether some people it's I'm getting this to eat right as I land,
Yes, absolutely.
or I'm going here right after I land. For some people, it's kiss the ground. I'm here. What's that first thing you're doing?
Um, I'd say because of the kind of family I have, we're very extra. So we're going to first start yelling at each other. We'll start a big fake fight. Like, how come you're not coming? All of that, right? Yes. So first we're gonna have a big fake fight. But then I have to eat. I must eat. Yes. I must eat. I need I probably need snapper.
Okay.
I'm okay if I have, you know, yam, banana, dumpling, everything. That is okay with me. But I want breadfruit.
Okay.
And the thing, do you know there's sometimes I dream about eating bummy so much that I wake up with my mouth watering and I think that I already ate it.
So guys, if you are going to Vietnam and you're gonna connect with
Thank you.
Venice, you bring you better wrap up that breadfruit, roast it, wrap it
Yes.
up,
Thank you.
right? And then you better get that bammy
Yes.
and
And bun and cheese. Bun and cheese.
bun and cheese. All
Bun and
right.
cheese. Yes.
Well, we're winding down to the end. And this is my last question. Well,
Okay.
it's not really a question, but how would you say in Vietnam, in the most informal way, goodbye? Totally, we're going back to the language.
Okay, no, no. Bye. Bye. I'm gonna say this, and everyone can come after me. It's
Okay.
something like hop keep line.
Wait. Repeat that because I
So
have to
it's
say it.
supposed to sound, I'm sure I'm butchering it. It's something like hop keep line.
Haki blind.
Yeah, like hop, like HAP,
Okay.
gip GIP, lie. I think LILAI, because it's a tonal language.
Okay.
So
Haki
things are like
blind.
totally different meaning.
All right.
But it really means see you again.
Okay.
So even in English, when Vietnamese are parting, a lot of times they don't say goodbye. They say see you again.
Okay. So thank you. Thank you again. Really some great information. I don't know if you have any final word before I try to say goodbye and maybe butcher it. Any
No,
final
no,
word?
no. So I would say thank you. Shin kaman, shin kaman to you. That's thank you in Vietnamese, the respectful thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I am definitely, I was delighted when I was delighted at the opportunity
Oh
to
no.
be
Thank
in your
you.
show. And I also, when it comes to my family, I miss my 3 nephews. Um, if you're ever in, I have to give a plug. You can take it out if you want to. If you're ever in Rochester, New York, and you need any Jamaican groceries or cook food, or you just want to be around Jamaicans, you want to go to D&L Groceries. If you're in Korea, please check out my food delivery service, Shuttle Food Delivery. So
Okay.
that's a
And
partner.
what's your delivery service website and or Instagram or what is it?
They could just type in Shuttle Food Delivery.
Okay.
All right. And you can download the app from the Apple Store and the Google Store.
All right. Good stuff. We didn't even get to talk about that in terms of, you're running a business in Korea and you're living in Vietnam. I mean,
Yeah.
multinational,
It's the Jamaican
multinational
way.
CEO, hey, a rite of passage for all Jamaicans.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. All right. So let me try this now. Let me try this goodbye now. I forgot. Hop, but help me out here. What
Hopkip
is
line.
Happy Pline?
Yes. Close enough. Close
All
enough.
right. Happy Pline.
All right. Bye-bye.
Show some love now. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss a video.